everybody, and welcome back to the Survivor Now podcast. The date is November 8th, 2023, and we are here to cover episode 7 of Survivor 45, and let's get straight into it. I am joined tonight by my usual guests, Abraham. And Abraham, I'm going to let you give your opinion first because I am devastated. My winner pick is gone. He's out the door. But what do you think of tonight's episode?
Let me tell you something, man. Season 45 has not disappointed. Once they had a little rocky start, but they have not disappointed, man. I mean, even the way they put these episodes together, you just don't know what's going to be the end result at the end of the night. Tribal Council, you just don't know who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. If you're not enjoying season 45, yeah, you can complain about 44, 43, 42, 41. But if you're not surviving and enjoying season 45, you shouldn't even be looking at it. The Survivor's not for you. I mean, another great episode.
Survivor has been alive and well. These have been some incredible episodes. And Abraham, is that some Survivor Now merch that I see you repping right there? Are you repping the podcast tonight?
That's my Survivor Now t-shirt.
Ah, there we go.
I got my mic here, which you can't see, but it's there.
Make sure to pick up make sure to pick up all your Survivor Now merch on our Instagram. Well, the link's in our Instagram bio, but we got to make some new merch because we have a brand new logo for Survivor Now. Abraham, before we get into the episode, we got to talk about this new logo. It's fresh. It's modern. It is a podcast microphone with the flames coming out of the top. So we keep the torch that we've always had, the torch that is on your shirt right now. We keep the torch, but we add a microphone to it to symbolize the podcast. And I wish I had a picture to show everybody. Overall, what do you think, Abraham? I'll pull up a picture real fast. But overall, what are we thinking about the new Survivor Now logo?
Loving the new logo. Like the new Survivor 45 is out there. Survivor Now podcast has some new stuff too. So you got to keep growing, man. You got to keep tweaking it. And I can't complain. I like the new stuff. I like the direction. Look at it, man. We're glossy. We are glossy now.
We are glossing. And don't forget to check out all of our content that we have been providing for you guys. Not only our Survivor 45 coverage, we run 4 shows a week. You can catch Survivor Stock Watch on Fridays, Survivor Social on Saturdays. Got something for you on Sundays. Even the fantasy show, which we didn't do today, but it's usually Wednesdays earlier on in the day. But we are also covering Survivor UK. You can check out my interview with the latest castaway eliminated from Survivor UK. That is on the channel now. And today, Matthew and Ollie, I couldn't join them, unfortunately. Didn't make it home in time, but Matthew and Ollie did a fabulous job recapping episodes 3 and 4 of Survivor UK. So make sure to check that out as well. Our Spotify is back to being updated. For a while there, all of our content was going on Spotify, and then none of it has been the past couple weeks. But now every show that you can watch on YouTube will be available on Spotify. You can also check out all the episodes at survivornowpodcast.com. All right, enough of all that stuff. Let's get into the episode today. We have to say goodbye to Sifu and Caleb, and I think Caleb's going to be the bigger talking point. So no offense to Sifu, but let's get to Sifu first. This was, and we'll talk about the twist a little bit later. Right now, I just want to talk about who went home. This was kind of a toss-up between who they were going to target, between Bruce's name was getting thrown out, Drew was feeling very vulnerable, and then Sifu, heading into Tribal Council, Sifu felt like his name was going to be the one that comes up. And he was devastated. This was his dream to make the merge. And because of the twist that we saw, whoever went home at this first Tribal Council, unfortunately, their Survivor dream of making the jury got cut short. And unfortunately, it was Sifu. A lot of stuff happened at this Tribal Council. We didn't see Bruce play his idol. Bruce held on to that idol. So smart play from him. Abraham, walk us through what took place heading into this Tribal Council, because Sifu was very confident he was going to be the one going home.
You know what? I got to say in this particular episode that I would have liked to see the people that make the merge make the jury. I don't want to see you not make the jury just because after you made the merge. So that if I had a critique of this episode, it'd be that once you make the merge and you do all that hard work, you should be on the jury. But we see Seafood, like I tell everybody else, you got to have some loyalty in there somewhere. And Seafood just didn't have the loyalty on this tribe. And the only thing that really was saving Seafood was the merge anyway. Once the merge is over and once Jay was gone, guess what? Seafood was, number one. Now, if you got the numbers, which they did, so Bruce and his groups, they stuck together. Anytime you divide the tribes up where you don't have the whole tribe there to vote, you stick with the numbers. Even if you don't like the numbers, as we saw, he did not like the numbers, but he stuck with the numbers. Because when you divide the tribe, and that's what happened to one of our players in our season, they did the same type of split up. Next thing you know, Nasir was going home with an idol in his pocket. So for all you future Survivor players, make sure when they split those tribes up and you pull that rock out, that rock has been getting them this season. Oh, the rock has been getting them. And it got Seafood, but Seafood he really never developed his game. We never knew what Seafood game was. He was out there, he was enjoying it, he had a great time, and he enjoyed the experience. But unlike a Marianne who had a plan, Seafood just was kind of going with the flow. What problem happened is you got to start playing. At some point, you got to say, I'm going to play. We saw Caleb, but Caleb was playing. Seafood was kind of going along. And if Bruce had a different set of numbers, Bruce would have went home tonight.
I was kind of shocked that Bruce didn't go home, because we're going to get to the Katurah and the Bruce stuff a little bit later on in the episode. I'm just talking about like heading into this tribal council. There was talk. Kendra and Bruce have not been on the same page. We saw Kelly say, we got to get these two on the same page because we need those numbers. And that's why other people were feeling a little bit nervous. But Kendra wanted Bruce gone. She wanted the blindside Bruce. This was a perfect opportunity for her to take Bruce out of this game.
Bruce is just terrorizing them outside of the edits because they are on Bruce, but Bruce has an idol.
Outside the edits, he was terrorizing them. He was terrorizing them within the edits. What are you talking about outside the edits? He was terrorizing them the entire episode.
Bruce be on him, man. And so, but again, Bruce is a number for your side. So I think Kelly made the right move. Kelly said, hey, I know y'all got some beef, but this ain't the right time right here. And this is the thing about Survivor. You got to know when to put somebody in front of the bus and say, that's a good move. Or, wait a minute, because now you give the other side a hand up. You still got 3 separate tribes in there that are still, well, Caleb is gone now, so you only got 1. So it's going to be down to 2 tribes with a swing vote in there. But keep the numbers on your side when they divide the tribe. I didn't think Bruce had to play his idol. It was some great editing to say, Kelly was like, this would be a good time to blindside Bruce. But I didn't see where, this was a time for him to play it. And I'm glad he didn't play it. So now at least he gets a little farther in the game and they bring the whole tribe back together. And I know you saw it. The auction's coming back. So
the auction is coming back.
Yeah. Well,
Abraham already looking ahead. We still have to talk about this episode, Abraham.
And Seafood didn't have the same kind of leverage Bruce. What I would have done was, if I was Seafood, I'd have went to Bruce. And I'd have said, Drew is my target. I would have targeted Drew, and I'd have went out there and said, hey, let's go ahead and get Drew out. Because you was gunning for Bruce, but Drew would have been a better target for him and would have got Drew out. That would have crippled Austin, because now you don't have a player in Austin. And don't forget, Drew also had the ability just to pack up and walk out.
I do think Drew did have that capability. And thank you for reminding me, because I did forget that for a minute. But he ended up not doing that as well. It seemed like everybody was confident that the votes were going to fall on Sifu. Oh, yeah. And to your point, how you were shocked that Sifu didn't go to Bruce and try to get Drew out, it seemed throughout the episode that Sifu was kind of accepting that he was going home. We saw this confessional where he's like, it's my dream to make the jury, and just to come short. I mean, what does that have to feel like? It has to feel devastating to get that close, and then because of this twist. What are you?
It's devastating. It is devastating when you get voted out. Period. So let me tell you what happens. You get voted out.
That's fair.
And then automatically giving an interview. So that interview that you see that Seafood and Caleb had to give, It is literally after you get voted out. So in your mind, you're like, should I say something that's not just batshit crazy about what just happened? Because I know Caleb was pissed. When you looked at him, he was like, this shit. So it's in that moment. But Sifu was like, look, I played the game of Survivor, and he had a great time playing the game of Survivor. So some people won't even get that opportunity that Sifu just got. But when Sifu get back to Ponderosa, Sifu was like, man. And then he started talking to everybody else at Ponderosa. No.
Abraham, we got too far ahead of ourselves. Jay has a point, always keeping us on our toes. He forgot his bag at camp, so he couldn't use his safety without power. Remember that. Someone posted that 2 for 2 on scrawny guys leaving their bags at camp. Take your bags everywhere, people. This is Survivor. Always bring your bags. Chris also in the chat. I want to give a shout out to Abe's weekly Instagram reels. They are better than the podcast. I don't know.
Hey, thanks. You gotta look at man.
Chris, you're wrong. You're wrong about that.
Look, I literally just.
And then let's talk about this. Jay brings it up. I don't get why Sifu didn't play his shot in the dark if he sensed he was going home. I mean, good point. Why didn't he play the shot in the dark? Especially because it just worked for Caleb. I mean, if you really believe you're going home, Sifu was not shocked that he went home tonight. Not shocked whatsoever.
I can answer that shot in the dark question for you. Sifu was not playing the game of Survivor like conventional Survivor players. So that shot in the dark never came up. Didn't even make the edit. So Sifu wasn't going to play it. It wasn't even a thought in Sifu's mind. And Sifu was like, I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. I trust in these people. Now, he should have looked back and remembered somebody voted for him the last time and that he was a target. I'd have targeted somebody else on my own tribe and said, I'm trying to get them out. But Sifu had a great time. That's all I can say about Sifu. He played. He was there. He was on Survivor. He enjoyed himself, which most people would be miserable, and he had a great time. So gameplay, Sifu really didn't have a solid gameplay.
I would like to see Sifu come back and get like a redemption story. I think that would be really good, like really cool to see. Imagine he comes back in a future season and his first confessional is like, look, last time I played Survivor, I almost made the jury and I was the last person who didn't make it. I think that's going to set up a really cool redemption arc for Sifu if he does come back. And he's got high energy. And I think he would be entertaining to watch return. We got a few comments here. Jay says, poor gameplay. They under-edited him badly too. I wonder if it was because he wasn't much of a strategist. And then Chris says Sifu was the Abe of this cast. Both fun guys on a great adventure.
I got trash on the season. I'd have still been
I was
going
to say Sifu did a little better. Oh, shots fired. Okay,
Sifu did a lot better. When I see Sifu, I'm like, hey, you did a lot better than me, guy. But I still would have been strategizing.
Let's get to the second tribal that we saw tonight because we did have to say goodbye to two players. This one hurt. This is my winner pick. But it doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock me because he was walking a tightrope throughout the entire game, and that is Caleb. Caleb ended up getting sent home tonight, but there was a chance for Caleb to be saved. How it started playing out, and we're going to get to that flashback in a second, that I absolutely hated. I hated that flash forward, not back. But there was a chance for a 3-3 split here. It could have been Austin, Julie, and D voting for Caleb, and then Caleb, Katurah, and Jake voting Julie. That was the plan. Jake was really spearheading that. He wanted to weaken D, but obviously D couldn't go home because she won immunity. So instead, what they had to do was let's weaken D and let's get out her right-hand woman and Julie. So great strategy. But where this went wrong, Abraham, is Caleb might have done this to himself. Caleb was saying, we need to tell Katurah that Bruce has an idol before Austin does, because then she's going to trust Austin over us. And when he told Katurah about the idol, she went to Jake and said, why have you not been truthful? I thought I could trust you, and you've been lying to me the entire time. So Katurah ends up flipping her vote, sending Caleb home. Were you shocked? I wasn't because of the flash forward. I knew it was coming, but I mean, what was going through your mind?
Here's the thing. Sometimes you overshare and you think a good move is a good move because you build trust. But you got to remember, Katurah was right there on the island. Hey, what's up, Bruce? Hey, Katurah was right there on the island with you. So they already know that you didn't tell that Bruce had found the idol. So if you didn't tell them she found the idol then, how much trust you going to get out of telling her now? You got to look at the time frame from the idol being found. How much time has already elapsed? Oh, it's been a few days. Well, you didn't tell her any time there. This wasn't the time to do it. Not when you was trying to keep another player in the game and you needed to keep her trust intact. Now, if Austin told her, you could have said, what is Austin talking about? Austin is the one who got an idol. Wait a minute. Everybody didn't play a vote in that last tribal, so who didn't vote? You could have easily just wiped that off and say, we'll worry about that later. But I think they overshared. Him and Caleb. Caleb was trying to gain favor with her. But Caleb, you can't tell her something and apologize at the same time. Can't do both. And you telling her, hey, we knew he had the idol, and then apologizing, it makes you like you setting her up and you can't trust her. I think that's where they kind of doomed that little alliance. And then it just got even more crazier when everybody wants to confess. Stop telling on each other.
I don't know. I think it makes for interesting TV. We got a few comments here I do want to show. Steven, a 3-3 split would have been amazing TV. It would have been. And then Jay adds, I hated that flash forward too, because it kind of foreshadowed what was going to happen. There was so many people on X or Twitter, however you want to look at it, who were big fans. Oh my gosh, I love this flash forward. Oh my gosh, I love what production's doing. One, they've been doing this on Survivor UK. So if you guys haven't checked out Survivor UK, try to. I know you got to find a link or whatever. But I don't like this, Abraham, in a game that it's supposed to be surprising and supposed to keep us on the edge of our seats. They should never be showing us the future. And that's exactly what they did here. They showed us the future. And as soon as that came up on the screen where they, I believe it was Jake, he was like, this is how it should work out tonight. It should be a 3-3 split. And then they're showing us the votes and everything. I knew instantly, I'm like, okay, so that's not happening. That's not going to happen tonight. And it totally took out the steam. I would have been, imagine this. They don't show anything. They don't show that flash forward. They just show Jake describing it, okay? They don't show anything else the rest of the episode besides maybe Katurah saying, you've been lying to me. And then we get to Tribal Council and you see Caleb go home because Katurah flipped. It would have been so surprising, but I wasn't surprised because I already knew it was coming.
Look, I'm not going to take it away from season 45.
It's been a great season.
Yeah. Tweak a little bit more. Let the fans there be like, look, that's kind of taken away from what I want to get the Tribal Council, and I want to see who's going to get voted out. That's like saying last week, if you gave us a snippet and then we got there, it wouldn't have been as climactic with Caleb playing the shot in the dark and not getting all the votes. If you'd have gave us a snippet, I don't want a snippet. I want them votes to come out, and I want you to read them votes and be like, oh, man, wait a minute. Caleb's not going home. Shot in the dark actually worked. Now everybody think the shot in the dark really works. It don't. So I'm looking forward to see little tweaks. Still great episode. Still a lot of fun. Caleb showed the true expression of when you get voted out of Survivor. That was a true expression of what the fuck.
He definitely was. I said it like this. I messaged in the group chat. Imagine if you go to see a blockbuster movie and at the very beginning of the movie, they show you a little bit of the end of the movie. Like it didn't make any sense. I absolutely hated it. Devastated to see Caleb go home. I was also sad to see Sifu go home. I got to say it, Sifu. I'm sad to see everyone go home. This cast is so good. Devastated to the point I want Katurah to go home now. I'm hurt.
you sound like Austin in the sandwich. Austin in that sandwich is vendetta.
And another thing is, like, I didn't think about it at the time, but it did come up. I was like, imagine what it's going to be like when these tribes meet again, because they don't know who they voted out on the other side. I don't think Sifu's elimination is going to do much. I think Caleb's not going to do that much either, because I thought it would hurt Emily, but we saw Emily this episode literally say, you know, it's time to cut Caleb loose.
I do want to see Emily. I want to see Emily voted out. Emily, I want to see you voted out.
Why?
Here's one reason why. Caleb laid his game on the line to shield her. Laid his game on the line. And there is no return in loyalty. None. She going wherever the wind blows.
Emily has saved that man twice. What do you mean there's no loyalty?
She saved him on when he played the shot in the dark. She saved him on that one. But on this episode, she was
she saved him when she went to Caleb early in the season and said Sean and Sabiyah are voting for you. That was saving Caleb.
That was a save back then. But now you had a chance to work with Caleb and build your numbers up, and she's like, I can't show people I'm with Caleb. I gotta cut bait, and she done cut him loose. So I think she's gonna be the last member of the tribe that's left out there. So she either is gonna become the swing vote, or they're gonna be like, oh, we can eliminate her, and we can be done with that tribe. So it's gonna be kind of interesting to see how her pathway plays out.
Well, it's going to be interesting as we move forward in the next couple of weeks. I believe that Reba and Bello kind of tribe showdown is coming up. And like you said, Emily finds herself in the middle. But it seems like Emily has new dancing partners with Austin and Drew. We saw her in this episode say she wants to focus on solidifying that alliance rather than going back to Caleb, because she does see Caleb as like a sinking ship. So, I mean, we're going to get to that in a little bit more about the alliances. But that is something to think about, how Emily seems like she's found her new home within the kind of Reba alliance. It seems like it's so weird. Reba could have kept Sifu and kept Emily and probably had the numbers, but they were so focused on getting out Sifu and Jemiah, two players who didn't want to work against them. Reba just didn't want to let them in the fold for whatever reason.
So, and you notice now Julie is a target. So Jake has to play another game. And here's the thing about it is Jake and Bruce are tight. So Jake and Bruce are tight. So Kelly, she's still going to be the X factor, but I think
I love Kelly. I think Kelly's in a fantastic position.
Couture, she's going to be on an island by herself for a moment. So Emily, I think, is going to be a swing vote, but I think that whatever happens between Dee and Julie doesn't include Austin and Drew. Somewhere that alliance right there is not going to be as stable we think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a fracture in there. And I think that Kelly might go over with Dee, and I think that'd be a better alliance right there. So we still got a lot of gameplay. We still got a lot of stuff that's still out there. Drew has his stuff. Austin has his stuff. Bruce has his stuff. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be another idol put back into the mix. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out. But that next episode coming up next week, that's going to be the one that says who has a path to the finals. I told everybody, I said, look, don't play the game too quick. You got to go past before. Now you at merge. Well, we're past merge. We got 2 players out. Here's what it is. These next moves isn't going to determine who's going to make it to finals. The longer somebody has an idol.
It's crazy to think that we only have about 6 episodes left in the season altogether.
That's 6 episodes left. Next month, we'll be out in LA for the finale. It's going to be fire. Another Wendell and Bryce and Wynn present. We're going to be out there, man, and it's going to be fire to see this cast. Also, guess what's going to have to come up?
I might be out there. You see the plane tickets for LA?
I bought them tickets a while ago. Season 46 cast should be coming around the corner soon. So that's going to be even fun because we get a chance to see that fire kick off.
Keep watching our social media. And we got to get to this twist tonight. It's a twist that we've seen before. We've seen it the past couple seasons. Right after the Mergatory, we're going to split into 2 groups, and there's going to be 2 people who get immunity, and there's going to be 2 people going home. The twist here, and we talked about it just a little bit, was the fact that whoever outlasts the other, so you have the 2 people who win immunity, whoever outlasts the other one wins tacos and a trip to the sanctuary.
The tacos.
Sanctuary, if I can say
Taco
that.
Tuesday.
For their entire group. And that group gets to go to tribal council second, where whoever gets voted out, which was Caleb, gets to join the jury. Whereas the other group, whoever gets voted out, that person sees their dreams cut very short. Did you like this kind of twist, or were you not a fan of I know you said it a little bit earlier. Did you like it, or should everyone at this point make the jury? We are merged.
Yeah, when you merge, I think you should make the jury. Just throw another episode in there, get the people out, and whoever makes the merge deserves to be on the jury. That's the reason why you made the merge. You didn't make the merge so they can come back and say, well, wait a minute, one more got to go, can't make the jury. I think it should be par for the course. Everything doesn't need changing, and I think that's one of them. But here's the thing. I do like the way they did it, because now you get somebody enjoying reward that's really not that comfortable, because you still got to vote somebody out. Then you have somebody that's going back to another beach, and we see when you leave, don't leave your bag, Drew, going back to the beach. So now you set that in motion, but just adding that just dynamics changes the whole way Survivor has to be played. You have to be on guard at all times playing this type of Survivor, because you never know what's going to happen. And, I'm going to enjoy these tacos, but somebody getting voted out tonight. Now, what would have been a motivator when they got up on them polls, but wasn't, is whoever is out first, you don't make the jury. That should have made them fight even harder. So,
I would not have liked that whatsoever. I would have just been like, can I just not compete?
Yeah, Caleb was up there on that poll just like everybody else is on the poll, but he's making the jury. Seafood was up on that poll like everybody else is on that poll, and he doesn't make the jury. So there's parts of it I do like. I like the fact that you got to compete, because I love a good challenge. I like the fact that they sent him to the sanctuary and then to a whole different other camp. That was great.
And we saw an incredible showdown. Can we just round of applause for Kelly and Dee? Dee used her big toe.
Big toe pimping. That big toe was pimping hard too. They did an edit of the big toe. It was so pimping so hard.
They sure did. But that was such an incredible showdown to watch. I mean, Kelly gave it her all. You could see that Dee was probably winning it. Dee even started talking to her team. We're eating tonight. We're eating. She started talking. She's like, oh, we're definitely eating. Kelly gave it her all. You both should be proud. That was, I know I posted on our X account and said, two badass women in Kelly and Dee tonight. They absolutely killed it.
For all y'all sitting at home on the chair like I was too, you like, why can't they stay up there? Because that shit hurt. Look,
you gotta have big toe. Big toe.
You better get your big toe in that little hole, in that little circular hole, and hold on, because we saw it. Well, hold up. What's the name was the first to drop out?
Yeah, Emily was the first to drop out.
Emily was like, my leg is gone. Emily was like, my leg is gone. I'm out. So it's not an easy task to be up there on those poles, but you got to remember, Survivor is about competing, and everybody that competed had a reason to be up on them poles. But Austin, gone. Bruce, gone. Seafood, gone. Caleb, gone. Jake, out of the air. Drew hung on a little longer than most did. But Drew said, you got to come up on that pole and get me. So he was about, I'm gone. So fun.
You know what's crazy about this? We used to see people back in the day on this challenge go for hours. Like, he's like, you've been up there for an hour, 45 minutes, whatever. They went 20 minutes. And that just shows how harder Survivor is when you are not giving these people anything.
They got nuts and berries. They got fish. Hey, look, stop saying that. You want some fishing gear, and they got a merge try. So all the fishing gear is there too. Oh, wait a minute. Where's all that fish yet everybody talks about? Stop giving fishing gear. I ain't seen a fish yet. So no. So they have a way to get food. You just got to be able to go out there and fish for it. And they can't.
Hey, how good did the sanctuary look tonight? How good did the tacos look? The tacos and the soft drinks. Are we not having beer on Survivor anymore?
Let me help you out with something, Randy. There. Let me help you out with something.
Randy is making it on Wiki Feet now after that.
Yeah, stop. Oh, not Wiki Feet. Look, if you eat that kind of food and you haven't eaten real food in days on end, it's not. And I think Rupert messed up the beer. I think one time he got drunk off about 2 beers on one of the episodes.
I miss seeing castaways get drunk. I think they had margaritas literally last season or earlier this year, but I just thought it was funny. Jeff was like, we're having tacos and soft drinks. I'm like, I want a beer. Bring me a beer. I mean,
you could. I could have sworn I thought they had beer last time, but again, don't know why they don't have beer anymore. I thought the pandemic is over, so hopefully down the road we see beer. the Survivor Now podcast wants beer back on Survivor, but it's gonna hurt.
Do we
If
have
you
that
drink beer,
power
it's gonna
now,
hurt.
Abraham? Do we have that say now? Like, do we have that power to tell Survivor what we want?
Look here. The Survivor Now podcast not only covers Survivor US, but they Survivor Australia, Survivor South Africa, and now Survivor UK. I think we can say a couple things. Don't get out of hand now, but I think we can say, hey, I think beer will be a nice little addition back. And somebody in the ethos will hear us out there now.
I hope. I sure hope. I'll take this opportunity to fix something that I got wrong last week. I forgot to say it when we were talking about Caleb's elimination tonight. Last week I said Caleb nearly broke the record because I said Kelly Wentworth negated 12 votes. No, Kelly Wentworth negated 9. She negated 12 for the entire season. So in last week's play, Caleb set the record for the most votes negated in a single play. So Caleb is forever going to be in the record books, which means, Abraham, I believe that means Caleb should get an automatic bid to come back on Survivor because I want to see more of this guy.
Sierra, out there in the world, you didn't give money to season 41. We okay. But Caleb deserves to get that extra money this season. I'm going to go ahead and put that out in there.
Oh, for sure. I didn't even think about Sia's money yet. He for sure needs to be a shoo-in to get this money.
So if y'all pass this podcast over to Sia, Caleb is my representative for deserving to get the money. Nobody's played that hard.
I couldn't agree more. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to talk about the Merge Tribe name and some of the alliances and relationships that are brewing on the, can I get my words out? Some of the relationships and alliances that are brewing out on the island. We will be right back.
Hi, Survivor Now podcast listeners. I am Katie from KT Designs, better known as Katie Tedesco Art on both Instagram and Etsy. I have been designing and selling Survivor products for over 7 years at my Etsy shop, including replicas like hidden immunity idols and Survivor trading cards with all of the players' stats on the back. I am so grateful for Survivor Now for giving me this shout out and helping me reach even more super fans. I love listening to their podcast. So if you are looking for some really unique reality TV products for yourself or to give a super fan in your life, come check out my Etsy shop at www.etsy.com/shop/KatieTedescoArt.com.
Abraham, did you say Sierra and I didn't notice? It's Sia.
It's Sia. Chris, thanks for
Chris calling you out. Jay also says, I hope Caleb gets a second chance too. And Chris, Stickbug should get the Sia money too. I agree. The little where was the Stickbug this episode? Why didn't the Stickbug get the edit?
That's like saying, where was the snake that was in the last episode? What snake? I didn't see the snakes on the island.
I do also want to say, he's not going to enjoy me putting this out there, but in our Survivor 45 podcast fantasy competition, we officially have the first person who has nobody on their team left, and that is Phil. All he had left was Caleb, and his team has been wiped.
Phil did not survive. He gave it a good shot.
So Phil, wait, let me look at the camera. The tribe has spoken.
Hold on, let me get the.
Wait, what do you have? Do you have?
I got my little torch thing. Yep. My little thing.
Phil out of the competition. We'll miss you. Maybe I'll win next year.
I'm down to 2. I'm down to Austin and Drew. Who's on my thing? No, I know Drew is on there.
Bruce. You have Bruce
and Drew are left. Yeah. I just lost Caleb.
No, you didn't have Caleb.
I didn't have Caleb. Who did I have?
No, I was just saying we just did all of that. Phil has Caleb. Phil's done. You have Austin, Bruce, and Drew.
I'm still look. Y'all need to. Hey, when y'all want to pick a good team, y'all got to go with me.
Abraham doesn't even know his team.
I knew some of my team. But Caleb was my guy. And I'm trying to see where I wrote this down at. But look, it's you know what? But here's the thing. These episodes, man, we're looking and saying, okay, what's next? What's gonna happen next? And it's just not being disappointing. I mean, I love the birdcage from last season, the twists and turns, but they really have put some work in this time. Now,
I will say the editing team made a little mistake. I don't know if you guys noticed this. Beginning of the episode tonight, when they were showing the conversations, and this is the very next thing we're going to talk about. We're going to get more into your buddy Bruce Abraham and what's going on with him and his game. But when everyone was talking about how they want to get Bruce out of the game, sorry, someone's calling me. I'm going to say, I didn't know if you could do that. When everyone was talking about that, you could see the individual immunity idol in the background, like just hanging. Like you saw the necklace in the background, and I usually don't notice that stuff. And I was like, now how is that there? That doesn't make any sense. No. They haven't even done the challenge yet.
I'm gonna still get an editing team 99.5% because you still overlook stuff sometimes. But again, I'm gonna go back and look at that episode and be like, where's it at? Because that already tells you that, hey, at least that tribe won. But it doesn't tell you that 2 people get voted out. Because you saw that last, but who's going to be the 2 people get voted out? And again, I do like the fact that the 2 people that gets voted out is not at the beginning of the episode. I thought that was trash, and I will always say that was trash. But to move it farther in the episode and give everybody a chance to build relationships and us as fans to build the desire to root for these characters. I'm rooting for Bruce, man, because one, Bruce got the great beard going now. So beard man.
I gotta get this comment. I gotta get this comment on here. Chris said Bruce is calling Randy. LOL. You guys don't understand. I got people on my line. You guys don't even. I'm gonna. I got people on my line now. This line of work puts you in that position.
I'm gonna text Bruce and say his beard game is fire.
Let's talk about Bruce this episode because it looked very early on that this was going to be the Bruce and Katurah episode. And I found it super interesting that they were on opposite sides of the challenge. So we didn't see that showdown because Katurah wanted to get Bruce out. Bruce wanted to get Katurah out. We saw very early on in the episode how Bruce called out Katurah in front of everybody and basically said, what are you doing? And Katurah gets frustrated. I don't know if I'd call it a good move. And it got to the point where everyone's going to Bruce and telling him, man, you can't do that. And he's like, what's the problem? And then we also see this episode, Bruce is talking to Caleb and they are trying to fix their situation. And he's talking about football. And Caleb is like, I don't know what, I cannot work with this guy. Abraham,
Bruce lost me on that one.
Bruce is he's a wonderful guy. I love Bruce to death. If you guys can ever meet him, he's incredible. It's just 2 different time periods that is happening here. And I mean, Bruce is struggling out there. People are not liking Bruce.
Bruce is still in the game of Survivor, so I'm not saying anything about Bruce and his behavior. Because here's the thing about it is, we don't see what's in the middle of all these episode edits. Because you're there for 24/7. We only get the little snippets, and the snippets are based to show us, what's the antagonizing or what's the irritation, and everything else that we want to see as fans. But again, Jake likes Bruce. So Jake is like, no, I want to keep Bruce. Austin is mad about the sandwich. I hope he gets over that part. But Austin say, hey, look, Drew, I don't know why Drew doesn't like Bruce because Bruce doesn't talk to him. Come on, Drew, let's be for real, guy. That ain't a reason. That's not even good gameplay. I think Bruce still has enough tribe members because here's the thing about it is if you start chopping off your own tribe, guess what?
I don't think Bruce has enough tribe members at all. The only reason his tribe members are still working with him is because of Kelly, and we see that throughout the episode. Kendra doesn't like Bruce. Katurah sure as hell doesn't like Bruce. Those 2 are going to butt heads, Katurah and Bruce. Like, especially, it could be coming next week. They cannot play this game much longer.
Unless they blindside Bruce still got the upper hand. So Bruce won't be going home next week. I think I lost Randy. We have lost Randy in the shuffle.
I'm back. Sorry, we're
back.
Dealing with some connection issues. Apologies, guys.
Here's the thing. Bruce still has an immunity idol, so he can still make it past next week. I think that Bruce, Jake, I hate to say it, Emily, and who else? And Kelly. I think Kelly is smart enough to maneuver and keep Bruce around long enough to get her down to the final 6. Because you got to remember now, stuff starts to drop off as far as all this special stuff.
To get Kelly to the final 6 or to get Bruce to the final 6?
Kelly. I said it right.
I think Kelly's winning this game. Bro.
Kelly.
I think Kelly's winning this game.
Here's what made me think Kelly could win the game. How she controlled the vote for this episode. And they didn't vote for Bruce. So I think Kelly, if she can get in there with Jake, Bruce, Emily, and one other, she can control the game and get down to the final 5.
I'm telling you, man, you're sleeping on Kelly. I think Kelly is going.
No, I'm talking about it. I can't get you past the final 5. I gotta see what shakes out of these next 3 votes first. I gotta see who shakes out.
And what do we think? I also want. So where do we think everyone's at right now in terms of their game? Who's playing the strong game? Because Katurah, she kind of went. She turned on Jake and she turned on Caleb, and it looks like she's going to go with Reba and jump ship. Whereas you have someone like Emily, who looks like she is with like she's with Reba. It almost looks like the Bello tribe is going to get destroyed. And Jay, I did see your comment about the Reba alliance. We're going to get to that a little bit later because we had an X question that I'm going to bring that in. But what are we thinking, Abraham? Because to me, it looks like Kendra, Bruce, and Jake are on the outs, and it's going to be Julie, Dee, Austin, Drew, Emily, and Katurah running this game.
I think they're going to get Julie next. I think Julie's going to get next. I think we're going to see Jake come up with a hidden immunity idol. And I think they're going to bomb back on the tribes, and Katurah could be on the outs, but I think Kelly is going to come save the day again. I'm telling you, Kelly is going to become my new mastermind of Survivor for this rest of the season. If she can control another vote, Kelly is going to control that vote, man. We're going to see some fireworks at the end. Jake is now the target, so Kelly and whoever else can kind of sit back but Jake confessed that tribal. I wouldn't have said nothing. There's no confession that I'm giving up.
Good point. Jake did say to Julie, it was me, we'll talk. But it looks like heading into next week that Jake is definitely on the outs because we see him running around looking for an idol. Everyone's like, is he looking? Is he looking? It looks like Jake, for whatever reason, is on the bottom now.
Well, no, because he's going to come back again. When you separate these tribes, then you're in jeopardy. But if they bring all the tribes back, he still got his main man, Bruce. So him and Bruce going to be locked at the hip. Kelly's going to still want a shield. Emily ain't sure who she going to play with. She just don't want to get voted out. And I think Kelly either is going to talk to Katurah and get her to come on his side, or it doesn't make any difference for Katurah to be mad right now. There's too many people left in the game that she could be voted out by as she gets mad at Bruce. And if you target Bruce already said, if I feel the wrong way about anything, I'm going to play my idol. And somebody else is going home. So that's going to be pretty interesting. As long as these idols are still in play, again, I wish everybody didn't know about the idol. But again, it's in play, and we're going to see how they play it. You know who I know going to get blindsided? Austin.
I mean, Austin and Drew are getting lined up for a blindside. Jay says, no, I think the Katurah Bruce Showdown episode was being set up tonight, and we'll see it next episode. And then I did see another one here from Jay. Now, I think people will catch on the Kelly's game eventually, given that they saw how under the radar the first 3 winners of the new era were. They very well could catch on the Kelly's game. Another thing about Kelly that I found interesting tonight, and it really doesn't have to do with her game, more to do with Austin, is Austin actually doesn't want to target Kelly right now. We saw him talking about that tonight because he said everyone knows the situation. Everyone knows that Kelly and I have a shared steal a vote. And I believe he was talking to Emily and said, I do not want Kelly out of this game because that gives me an idol where right now I don't have anything. He does have stuff, but obviously Emily doesn't know that. And he's like, right now I don't have anything. If I vote Kelly out, everybody knows I have an idol. This is very smart gameplay by Austin. Leave Kelly in the game and then try to get her out around that final 7, final 6, to where then he's got 2 idols that he can play final 6, final 5. That ensures that he makes it on to the final 4 and has a chance at fire and has a chance to make it to the end of this game. I think that was very excellent gameplay from Austin.
Okay, so when is Drew going to cut his throat?
Does Drew have what it takes to cut his throat? Because I could see Austin and Drew going all the way to the end together. I mean, they've been best friends throughout the entire series. I could see both of them going to the end together.
Once they realize, and they already know, that Drew and Austin are married at the hip, I think D is going to try to take one of them out. Here's the thing about a Survivor. At some point, you got to take out your friends. So who better to take out? You're going to either target Austin or you're going to target Drew. But you're not taking – Julie is D's right hand. So that person's not going. Bruce, if they can knock out 2 or 3 more players, Bruce and Jake can run the show. So these next 2 to 3 players that get put off the Survivor, this is going to be the deciding factor who makes it to the end. These next 2 or 3 players. So if Austin and Drew survive, if a D and Julie survive, or if a Bruce and Jake survive, then we're going to be able to see, okay, who can make it to the end. But Drew and Austin or D and Julie, one of them going. I would target one again. If I was, as a matter of fact, if I was Jake, I'll come back. Guess who my next
I don't see them going next, Abraham. I think this is going to be a foursome that goes very deep into this game. I could see them going to the final 5 together.
Circle your calendar. This is not going to happen.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Jay says he'd have to take her out at final 7 at the latest because the amulet idol is only good up until the final 6. And then I think D and Austin will likely have a bit of a showmance, and they will become closer than Drew is with Austin. I don't know about that one. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm going to disagree with it. I think that's Big Brother.
Oh, this is a good one right here, Chris. Randy and Abe is like Austin and Drew. I'm definitely the Drew. He's the Austin. Wait, this way.
What show are we looking at? Okay. Austin and Drew.
I mean,
I want to see.
We would be a formidable duo, Abraham. We would be a good duo.
They let us on Survivor, man. We knocked the game out. I wouldn't mind seeing Austin make it to the final 5 just because he earned it. He's playing. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. But Drew kind of cocky, man. Drew. But I love
Drew. I absolutely love Drew. I love everybody on this cast, but I love Drew.
But this episode, he was like, I will vote anywhere y'all want me to vote as long as my name ain't on that parchment. And that's what sometimes that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. But I think what's going to happen is Bruce is going to find out that Drew said something about him as far as voting, and then it's going to be on.
Abraham, let's talk about this. Did you see the merged tribe name this past week? It was a secret scene last week where I believe Caleb came up with it. Did you see the name?
No. What's the name? No.
Dakuwaka. It's the first tribe name in history, I believe, to have a Q in it. It is a Fijian shark lord.
Here's what I'll say about the names.
Let me see if I can pull up a picture. Hold on. While you're saying that, I'm going to try to pull up a picture. We get a chance to be with the Fijian people. They look after us. They're at Ponderosa with us. They make sure we get our lunch. They talk to us. Great communication when we was there for season 41, and I'm pretty sure the remainder of the seasons that go to Fiji. Man, it's a great experience to be in their culture and to get an opportunity to be able to see how they live as well. When we're out those islands, it's not a road to these islands. We take boats. So when they come to work, they take a boat to come to work. They don't get in a car and drive unless you're on the mainland. So it's great when they go pull these names out and present them out with tribe names because that's their culture. And I gotta give CBS and Survivor credit for representing the culture of every location that they go into, and they create these tribe names. So another great name, another great season. I mean, it lives on past. Is that the picture? That's what it's named after. Yes. So it's a Fijian like shark mythology something. Dakuwaka, and that's the name of the shark.
That's a killer.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I don't know because the islands that we're on is surrounded by a seawall, so it kind of keeps out the violence of the ocean that comes in there. Yeah,
cool AF indeed. And I mean, I got to get that merge buff. That orange and teal. Oh, CVS, you did it again. You did it again. And then Jay says, reminds me of King Shark from the DC Comics. Well, Abraham, I believe we covered everything from the episode. We're not done yet. We got a new segment that I'm about to introduce. Is there anything else you want to say about the episode, Abraham?
You know what? Like I said before, man, season 45 is definitely not disappointing. It had, even with a little and I'm gonna say minor hiccups they may put in there where you see the actual idol in the clips. This has been a great season, man. I got to give CBS credit where they should. When they wasn't doing right, we was hammering them. So they're doing it right. They're making a good season. So I'm gonna give them their props. Jeff, you out there getting it done, even though I call you Messy Jeff because you are. It's just good to be able to watch it now, man, and not know what's going to happen and just see the people play Survivor, man, and just see them enjoy themselves. Caleb Seafood, man, y'all played a hell of a season, and y'all always going to be remembered by this season, man.
I'm heartbroken. Caleb. Wait, hold on. Caleb, you were my winner pick. I'm sorry for cursing you. Me and Tegwith both cursed you. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you something, man. Randy has not picked a winner pick in Survivor ever. So I don't know what y'all doing.
Abraham, my winner pick this year literally made it to the merge. That's probably the best they've ever done.
I can't find our breakdowns, man. When we did the breakdowns, I think it's right here. Hold on. Paper. Where's Caleb at? Oh, here we go.
You're gonna have to. I said Caleb was my winner pick.
Caleb was Randy's winner pick. It was Tegwick's winner pick, and it was my top 3.
Yeah, that was very tough.
You still got you out of there, guy.
That was very tough.
Hey, how is Will doing?
Jay right here, one thing, they should get rid of these split tribals. They reinforce the majority and are boring. If they want to do a double boot episode, make it so that everyone is that tribal and vote out 2 people back to back. I agree. You're talking about Will and his Survivor Now fantasy team, right? Ooh.
Yeah.
He's not even,
is he gone?
He has Kelly still. Kelly won immunity tonight. He's going to get some points. He might make it to 100 where Phil's been eliminated. Phil's the first one eliminated.
Phil, hey, my man, where's my Bruce? Tomorrow, next episode, where's my shirt at? I gotta wear my Bruce shirt the next episode for my, we got we got the beard. So, and it was funny when I was talking to Bruce, I was laughing with him. I was like, "Hey, Bruce, you ain't even gotten any gray hair. How young are you?" Bruce was like, "Wait until you see the show. I got gray hair."
Oh, he's got gray hair. Well, it is now time for a new segment. Every week on X or Twitter, however you want to look at it, you can leave your questions and we will get to them on the show. Doesn't matter if there's one question. Doesn't matter if there's 1,000. If there's 1,000, we're not going to get to all of them. But yeah, so we do have a question from tonight. And here it is. It is, I'll read the cues instead of I'll read the votes. I need to learn how to say that. I need to say it like Jeff. So I'll read the cues. That is the segment that we will be doing. Well, Abraham, the show's always evolving. Abraham, I think you should say it. Let's try that again. It is time for our next segment, a new segment that we're going to be trying. It is time for
I'll read the cues.
I like that. That was good. That wasn't even rehearsed or anything. All right, this comes.
We just be doing stuff.
This comes from Bread Boy. No labels. That's his name, but it's at Wester FI or FY. Sorry. Who really runs the Reba 4 between Drew, Austin, D, and Julie? Who really runs the Reba 4? Abraham, go ahead.
Oh, that's a difficult one. That's a difficult one. I'm gonna say D would probably have a more forceful move, but really the people that got the most stuff in their pockets, Austin and Drew. I think Austin and Drew run that. If you don't get them in your pockets, then you don't get no props. Austin and Drew got some in their pocket.
I think D is running the show. I think she is the puppeteer. She is keeping everyone together.
I think Austin is getting an edit like he doesn't make decisions, but I think when it comes down to it, D doesn't have anything, and Austin and Drew have everything right now. So if they decide to turn against them or vote them out, guess what's going to happen? So even if you vote out Drew, that still leaves Austin, and Austin's coming for you because Austin is petty about the sandwich. I mean, how many more edits we got to see that Austin's still mad about this?
Why are you so mad about being petty? I'd be petty about a sandwich.
You playing Survivor. It's only 26 days. You will be okay. 26 days. You got water and you got coconuts. You'll be okay.
We had a sandwich right there, and you chose a stupid amulet advantage. I'd be mad.
Well, I need that amulet advantage to get to the final four, so I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna take that amulet. You can keep that sandwich. Go out there and get some fish. Y'all got fishing gear? Go fishing.
It's $1 million sandwich. I think D's running it at this current moment. I get what you're saying. This is also what this new segment is about, the Q's. This is where we really debate our opinions and why I think Abraham's wrong. I think D is the puppeteer. If you look at this exact moment, I think D is saying who goes home. She even said it tonight in the episode where she was hearing them out and saying, okay, they want to keep Caleb and instead vote someone else out. That's not happening. Caleb is going home tonight. She said that in a confessional. I think she's the one who's saying, this is what we're doing tonight. This is how we're going to do it. And I think at the current moment, Austin, Julie, and Drew are just following D and what she is saying. I'm not saying that D is going to make it the farthest out of all of them, but I do think D is currently running the show.
You know what? It all works when you got a bunch of numbers. But as you get down to these numbers, no. Because here's the thing about it is, you control Seafood, because Seafood was somebody, and Caleb, they wanted to get out. Now, who's next? You could try to target Bruce, but Bruce is like, hey, I got immunity, so I'm not really worried about y'all. This particular, his concern should be next time.
Well, we also had this comment from Jay. And now the Reba 4 of Julie, D, Austin, and Drew make up the final 10. They can basically run the game to the end like the Taku 4 in season 42. They can because there's 10 people left. You have the 4 of them, and then you have Katurah, and you have Emily. That's 6 out of 10. They could easily vote out Kelly, Kendra, Bruce, Jake, gone. And those 6 are left. And then Julie, D, Austin, and Drew could vote out Emily, and then they could vote out Katurah. And that leaves the 4 of them for the final 4.
That's what we call the perfect world. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. In today's Survivor, no way. The second question that we have is from Bill Aree, at Aree Shelby on X. And Bill, this is actually a podcast question. He is new to watching Survivor. He said crazy, but he's new to watching Survivor as a whole.
Welcome to the family.
And he checked out our podcast, and he said he couldn't watch it tonight. He couldn't watch it live, but he said, can I watch it tomorrow? And the answer is yes. The podcast is available on YouTube, Spotify, and our website, SurvivorNowPodcast.com. So go check it out whenever you have time to watch. I wanted to get his question in there. Last question we have today is from Chris. He asked this earlier. Do you guys think Bruce would have been a better player in the early seasons? Yes, I think Bruce was made for the early seasons. I think Bruce was.
Are we talking about before? We're talking about before 41. We're talking about the old school season.
I'm thinking really old school. Like put Bruce on like original Survivor, like one of the seasons, one of the first 10 seasons, where it was just get in a big alliance, stay true to that alliance till the very end. Yes, I think Bruce would have been amazing at early Survivor. I think how Survivor is nowadays, it's not made for Bruce. Super entertaining player. Love that he got another opportunity. And he's continuing to shut me up because he's still in the game. I'm not saying the dude is bad at Survivor. I'm just saying I think Bruce would have really excelled at the early Survivor.
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing about it is we only get the edits and the bonds and relationship that we form by being on the seasons together and out there on the island together. You never see that until after the season's over and you start seeing people in interviews and stuff, or you start seeing people in person. I think that you play the game and then you got people. I think as a person, Bruce is probably a great person that his tribe and their season bond together on. And it's going to always be people on every season where you're not going to know each other after the season's over because you wouldn't have known each other in real life. That's just how it works. But I think it's going to be. I think he could probably look at it better because the cast would have been a little older.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been such a dynamics of kind of falling back in. This person is only 4 years older than my kid. But you also look at the common sense thing. The first person to say, hey, we got to make a fire is the first person you want to crucify. But the reality is we got to make a fire. I mean, somebody got to say it first. It's just how you say it. I think Bruce hasn't gotten that.
He's just too much of a leader for the new Survivor. He's just way too much of a leader.
I mean, it's hard to go back to if you're in the A spot, and I mean alpha dog, male or female, doesn't make a difference. It's hard to drop back into B and C slots. And how long can you keep your real personality in check and behavior? Because D is an alpha personality.
Yeah.
So Julie is an alpha personality, so it's interesting to see how they all kind of like, let me sit back and let me step back and see what's going on. I think Bruce is going to do fine. I think we haven't seen the last of Bruce. The next episode is not Bruce's last episode. That's my thoughts. Because I just think it's too many players. It's too many players that they need to try to eliminate. And if you take Bruce out, that's a number for you. So Kelly is playing the game the right way. If we take Bruce out now, we lose a number.
That's my new winner pick, Kelly. I'm cursing you. I think Kelly's winning this game. I definitely think a female is winning the game. I will put it out there. I think a woman is going to win this season.
So Bello has 4. Bello has 4. Reba has.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Next week,
4.
A women's alliance looks like they may be forming. That never works, but we'll see.
Yeah, look, no. Here's again the personalities. Here's the personalities. You heard in Julie's tribal council. Julie was like, I didn't think I had to play. I didn't think I had to give a little myself, get a little. No, you got to play. Julie and Seafood Game ain't that far apart because we don't really see what is Julie doing. We don't really see strategy out of Julie right now. She's just kind of going with D. So that's kind of how we see the game developing. So it's going to be kind of interesting as we go to these next couple of episodes. I'm telling you, Randy, the next couple of episodes. And as you can tell by Randy's pose, he's agreeing with everything I'm saying.
No, I heard everything you said. I don't know if they heard it. We've been having connection issues tonight, and I have no idea why. But I think that is our sign to wrap things up. Outside of the Survivor world, Abraham has a new podcast that you guys need to all check out. Old School Finance. This past week, he uploaded his first episode, The Do's and Don'ts of the Government Shutdown, with his good friend. Remind me his name.
Ken Fowler is on my episode. He did my very first episode with me. I am jumping out on my own podcast. It's a little nerving. It's nerving to be
He's
not
leaving
next to
us.
Randy. No, I'm not leaving. Thanks to being on Randy's podcast. I wanted to do a podcast of my own. I want to talk about finance, old school way. And I want to bring people that I know on there. We're just going to candidly have conversations about finance. So with the help of Randy, I posted my very first podcast. More episodes to come, but go out there on YouTube. It's on the Old School Finance with Abraham and Friends and check it out.
I think we lost you for most of that, but it's Old School Finance with Abraham and Friends. The link will be in the description probably by tomorrow. So if you come back here, click the link in the description, and then you can go check out that podcast.
I don't know who be messing up our nightly podcast with internet.
I might have lost Abraham. I might have lost you again. We are dealing with some connection issues. We're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, check us out on Spotify. Make sure to leave us a rating. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to check out all the stuff we have going on SurvivorNowPodcast.com. You can check out the full schedule for the week. Don't forget to check out Survivor Stock Watch on Friday, Survivor Social on Saturday. And yeah, Abraham, I see you. He's waving goodbye. And got something for you on Sunday. Our Survivor UK coverage will be back next week. Also, Survivor Australia is just a couple months down the line. We can't wait for that. We got some exciting news for you guys that we cannot share yet. Woo! Everybody, thank you for tuning in and enjoy the rest.